Hey everybody. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of freaking out. I'm freaking out. I was fortunate to talk to my brother earlier, and he helped calm me down a little bit. It's been a crazy time. I feel for everybody out there, but I thought, when I needed to distract a little bit from everything that's going on, I thought I'd do something funny. I don't know if this is going to work, but I was just on checking out some geeky shit on eBay. So maybe you'll join me for a little little funny hang. All right. Thanks for sticking with me. Hopefully you can see this, and I'm gonna bring this down. This is the first time I ever tried this. There we go. There he is. Is or is you ain't. Fucking eBay. Is you ain't my eBay. Thank you. Tip your waitress. All right. So we got a little jazz. I got it low because it's really late at night, and I don't think the roommate loves it when I just crank the fucking esoteric jazz. This is a session from over the summer. It's up on Supple Owl Electro Jams channel. If you want to go check that out. Some happening cats on this one, and Brooks Offerman, I think Matt Stav, myself, E.B. Silverman, Ethan Silverman from New York. He sounds great. That's who you're hearing right now. Bill Jones coming up. Myself. But I thought I was just looking at eBay. I thought it'd be funny to kind of roast the mouthpiece, the tenor mouthpieces in eBay. So that's what we're gonna do. I don't know if anybody's actually seeing this. It's kind of I thought it was funny. Maybe we'll do this more, kind of a funny winter segment during the collapse of our society. We'll just geek out over mouthpieces we can't afford to buy on eBay. If you're watching this and you're like, well, why would you care about that? And you might say, well, the music is everything. Why would you care about the gear? Why isn't the music all that matters? And the answer to all that is, yeah, dude, total. It's totes, malotes, dude, But I still find it fascinating, and I always have. And if money were no object, I would need separate compounds just for mouthpieces and saxophones and drums and all of it, man. All of it. Rhodeses, Wurlitzers, those, all of it. Whatever. B3s, man. The B3s and the Leslie speakers are fascinating, It's incredible. I always love being at man, don't you miss all the hangs now? Bro, bloody hell. I mean, I miss being over at the B3 Kings, man. Rusty and the Cats over at Plow and Stars, man. It's so sad that we're missing all those things so much. And to be fair, I was pretty lazy about going in the last couple of years, but sure feel like I took it for granted now, And there's a lot of things like that. I wish I could have been at more lily pads. And you'd say, well, dude, you went to a lot of lily pads. Yeah, I did, but there were a lot of nights I didn't go to the lily pad, and that's a thing. So, anyway, thinking about those things, like I said, fascination, the stuff that fascinates you that you can't let go of. I love the horn. I love instruments. I've been geeking out. Matt Storer, the great repairman, just put up a cool couple of new videos. I always watch his stuff, Life is short and time is precious, but I still watch Matt Storer's saxophone videos. It is what it is, man. What do you want? Who's with me? Comment if you're on board. You know what I'm talking about. So we're gonna scroll through here and take a look at some mouthpieces and see what's here. Nothing I'm gonna buy. I look for things. I try to buy low, and my project mouthpieces I try to get them pretty affordably, because I'm not made of money. So if I'm going to take on a project, I try to be cautious, because you're not in it to make money. You're in it to find something that plays good, that you can have an experience with. Like doing an old car or anything you can get into that's like a hobby. You can't really get into, guys that make money. I don't think, some of the local guys that make mouthpieces are making real money. It's a passion. It's a lot of work. I mean, I can't imagine what Matt Morantz, the amount of time he puts into those mouthpieces. Ted Klum, all these guys that do this stuff. I mean, it's unreal. So I find it fascinating. I love it. I have a lot of respect for it. So I like to check it out, and I still waste time on eBay looking at mouthpieces. So I cracked another beer for the evening. I really needed just to kind of disconnect. I don't know what you guys do to disconnect, but I was really freaking out. I talked to my brother for a while, and we had a laugh, and he had a bad day also, unrelated to the fall of democracy. He had a bad day otherwise, and so we kind of helped each other out. Chatted, had a laugh, and we both felt better for it. So I thought let's do some mouthpiece hang. The very first thing we see here is very controversial, man. Doc Tenney Custom. I mean, what do you say about Doc Tenney? I don't know. I don't know if I mean, his mouthpieces were everywhere doing the reface of stuff, but I looked at this before and it doesn't look. It looks like he might have blueprinted it. Well, what does that mean? Well, blueprinting is when you take something and you adjust it so that it meets its original specs. Because the baffle here doesn't look like anything's been done to it. That looks like either this mouthpiece was replated, and why would you do that to this mouthpiece? So he might have just gone and touched up the rails and made the table flat. Who knows? I don't prefer a flat table, I prefer a, come on now. Okay, this is challenging. Work at the computer with the microphone and the camera in front of me. Hadn't thought of that. All right, next one. So we got some some Van Doren, Jumbo Javas, whatever, a metal link that I pass up. Now here's an old Bob Dukoff. Let's take a look at this Bob Dukoff. So we're at 355 with 5 days to go. 2 bids in, free shipping. Well, that's nice from Florida. Now these are killer pieces if you can get one that ain't too chewed up. Usually they've had several bite plates on them, and look at that. That don't look pretty. This looks like somebody's yard that no one had ever cared for, and then they suddenly mowed it flat. That's what that looks like. A lot of times these are really chewed up, especially if they've been refaced. Look at that right there. See that? That looks like the bite plate showing through. Is it a black bite plate? Nope. Okay, but look at that. Bit through. Usually these have had several on them. It's measured it's marked a 5. That's cool. It doesn't show whether it's the big chamber or the small chamber, really. Probably the big chamber. You guys that are really, really into that know, which is which and all that stuff. We got the next one. This is the one I was looking at. $250 for a proper vintage short shank soloist. Now, I play these, and I do dig them, and I like to find them like this. C star is better than a C, because C's are pretty close. The C stars got a little more to it, so you want to get a C star. Some refacers it doesn't matter, but in some cases it's better. You can get more out of it if you don't have to cut on it too much. Pull it back too much. From what I understand, what do I know? I just play the damn things. I like the soloists. They're cool. So this is cool. And you got the vintage ligature and cap. I like everything I like about this, except there are no pictures of the tip, really. You see the mouthpiece from above here, and then from behind, it's fine. The ligature and cap are interesting, for sure. But what's going on under there here? Here where you're not being shown what's going on. What's going on there? So that's where I would bow out on this one. I'd be like, yeah, no thanks, guy. I'll watch for the next one. New York, early Florida, Super Tone Master, no USA, baby, no USA. All right, here we go. Let's check it out, kid. You know what I mean? See what we got here. All right. So, yeah, we got... I didn't really look at this one, actually. Let's see what it says here. Mm-hmm. So it's got the longer, longer shank. You measure the numbers here will tell you how late it is. This here, it's hard for you to see that, but right here. And who cares, right? If it plays good and you didn't pay too much for it, it's cool. But if you're trying to get into these things for money, like what I don't like about this is it's sort of an odd color, and there's some odd wear. It's kind of chewed up down here. Not that it's normal wear; it just is what it is. Now, some of some of the Floridas were silver plated underneath the gold, which this I think is. Who knows what that is? I don't know. You tell me, guys. Definitely refaced there. Looks all right. Cool, man. I mean, pretty down to the end. This mouthpiece has been done a couple of times, but a lot of them have. I mean, what do you want, If it rings and it plays all right in the moment, it doesn't matter what was done to it, Let's check out what else is here. We got a early Babbitt. Now that is a little different color here. Let's take a look at this early Babbitt. 7-star Super Tone Master. But does that mean it's just a regular link? That kind of looks just like a regular old link, especially up here. I don't know. You tell me. There's some refacing done, but that doesn't mean that it's a Florida or early Babbitt. I don't know, man. That one's spurious. I don't like that one. We're moving on. We're going back. So now we got... This is one of the new Florida models, I think. Right? It's got to be. You wouldn't ask $100 for that mouthpiece. Yeah, this is one of the new ones, right? No? Fuck, I don't know. It's got to be. Can't be a vintage piece. But they're selling for $260, so if you're looking for one, what is it, a 6-star? Have at it. Send it to somebody. Have it refaced. You get yourself a nice brass mouthpiece, whatever. Forget about it. You know what I mean? What else we got here? Van Doren metal tenor pieces, I've never even played one. They seem to be everywhere. But would you pay for one? Would you buy it? 7. So this is a 7. And these are a proper machined metal mouthpiece. You know what I mean? Medium. This is the new one with the medium chamber. I'll tell you what, I'd buy that. What do they want for it? Are you kidding? Of course people are bidding on it. I'd bid on it for $97. All right, we might come back to this one. I'm putting it on my watch list. That is nice. For that money, on a 7... Yeah, forget about it. I don't know. It's probably too much baffle, but it doesn't look too beat up. Nobody dropped it. That's pretty nice. Forget about it, kid. Look, if it works, play it, right? What was on? There was one. Well, we might come up. Well, I think it came up on Facebook, but it was a Gardala soprano, the old stubby Branford Marsalis version. Here we go. I like these. This is retail for this. But these Gerber mouthpieces, I played them at Jack's. They're pretty nice. Buck, $4.20 is a bunch of bread, but super well made mouthpiece. Guy knows what he's doing. That's what I like about the thing I'm playing right now. The thing, Kyle, is that in the history of those Autolink mouthpieces, they plated some of them with rhodium, not silver, and they're notorious for the gold comes off, and then you've just got the rhodium underneath. Whereas the silver ones tend to wear more evenly. Gold wears down, but on the rhodium ones, the gold just comes off, and you've just got a rhodium-plated brass piece. That's sort of the history on those. I don't know which one that was, but that's the deal. And thanks for commenting. It shows me that people can see it. It's a little questionable sometimes whether it's actually live or not. So yeah, man, another Doc Tenney custom vintage Berg steel. So he's added baffle to an already baffly mouthpiece. Maybe it wasn't quite flat. Looks like he's added some in the interesting. What are you doing? Would they take it out? Is that a reflection? What is that, just a reflection? Tell me it's not. It is. All right, guys, y'all got me. I'm going to drink my beer. Let's move on to the next mouthpiece. You got me. He's losing it, folks. It was just a reflection. Modern Link. These are weird. These Seagal mouthpieces. I never understood this. They're around and they go for good money, but I've never known anyone to actually play one of these. They have this weird. This is not that bad. Some of them have this crazy ribbing here on the baffle. Weird mouthpieces. And some of them are like the Seagal, like Berganzi model, but I can't imagine Jerry ever playing that fucking mouthpiece. Get out of here. This is interesting. The Berganzi model mouthpiece cafe. These are cool. Some of them are plastic. Some of them are resin. Some of them are resin and rubber. There's no just rubber ones. But for $200, you need a 7-star mouthpiece. I bet that plays pretty fucking good. And if it didn't, you could send it to somebody having souped up. Done right. Yeah, man. Kyle, good to see you, man. Thanks for commenting. I hope y'all are well where you are. Things are getting dicey. It's weird. We're not here to talk about that. If this mouthpiece here were a soprano mouthpiece, I'd buy it sight unseen. Have it refaced. I would like to find one of those metal soprano mouthpieces. They're hard to find. And then sometimes you find them, they're kind of expensive, but they're the modern ones. They're not really worth it. You want to find a vintage one. Just because probably the brass is a little nicer, for if anything. But they're interesting. They're hard to find. So, Jody Jazz Custom Dark, but it's got a ring on it. Is it supposed to have a ring on there? I'm not so sure. Fat Body Berg Larson 220. Fat Body Bergs make the world go round, baby. Where are we? A little stubby beak. Clum has a new piece. It's his Precision London model, and it's the diameter of an Auto Link, but it's kind of like a Berg Larson. It played great, and it had this kind of duckbill scoop-shaped baffle, and when he handed it to me, I was like, I'm not going to like this, but it felt great. It was pretty crazy. It was an interesting piece. It was a little, I don't know, I wish I'd bought it. It was really nice, but they're expensive. Boutique mouthpieces. Super Toemaster Florida era number 8, $1,195. And so that's what I'm talking about right there, where you can see the silver and the gold, and maybe it's just the silver, I don't know, the gold wearing off of this piece. But this is, interesting. Doesn't look too, nuts. Kind of looks like it's been cleaned up somehow. Like down here, like there's a lot of wear and there's some discoloration, oxidation there that I don't know, looks like that's been polished, kind of cleaned up a little bit. Hit a little steel wool, right? Nobody will know. Get a couple more bucks on eBay for it. Vintage Auto Link. This is interesting. I don't know how these play. It's got a lot of wear on it. Somebody dug the shit out of that mouthpiece. These Morgans are cool. You can tell the color of it. That's good rubber. It's probably worn out. Have it refaced. Have it done up. You know what I mean? Brillhart. These are interesting, man. This guy. These are cool looking. I don't know. That's, basically $500 for a mouthpiece. For me, that's a lot of baffle. For most people, it's not. Most people, it's probably middle of the road, or lease. Standard Link, 10-star. Interesting. Who's gonna play a 10-star? But it's $90. You can send it to a guy, have it refaced. You have a pretty monster mouthpiece. Maybe. Long facing large chamber tenor mouthpiece. Interesting. Ted Klum Marble Tonemax. I think this is an older mouthpiece. He's probably 10 years old or something. Maybe not. 5. I don't know if a lot of these came out. What opening has he got there? 7-star. Fucking nice, man. $4.50. Buy it now, free shipping. Da 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 da. All right. Next, regular that little Selmer Jazz, whatever. These are cool. See, that's a long shank proper vintage soloist. Again, clean it up, do the thing. Here we go. Autolink Tone Edge tenor saxophone mouthpiece vintage slant 7-star. This is what we're trying to roast. This is literally what we're looking for here. So, all right. So it's not too oxidized. You can see a difference here, ligature area and not ligature area. Okay, that's not so bad. That could have been worse in the past. It could be buffed a little bit, right? No, this is pretty clean. No beak. Look at that. No indentation. That's pretty fucking nice. 7-star. That looks legitimate. Little low spot here. I don't know, gentlemen. This that's got some pattern to it here. That's got a little vibe to it. Look at that. You can see it. Those are the marks, the lathing marks from the factory. Whoa, you see where the reed was stopping maybe? You see this line here. Now they talk about a French curve. That's a long story too. You can see this here is pretty obvious. All right, next photo. I have a mouthpiece that is a believable tip rail. That is definitely believable. Wow. Look at that. I don't know, kids. What do you fucking think? Woohoo! Whoa, I misread that, didn't I? 1,704. Okay. So what do you think? Real deal? You think is this a $1,800 mouthpiece? Look at that. No bite marks. Little polishing, little evidence of polishing here. 7-star with the white in the star. I mean, I think we've maybe not the best player. We got table and rail issues, maybe. You know, here's where it's hitting. You see where it's hitting? It's hitting here and back here. I don't know. I think you want it hitting all the way here, and then you want the indentation down here is what you want. Who knows? You know, you slap a couple reeds on it, it might play amazing. I'll bet it does. I'll bet this mouthpiece is thick and fat and badass. You can see the milling here. This is what I'm talking about. That's pretty killer. It doesn't seem... This is kind of a soft edge here. Here, right there. That's wear, right? If this had been resurfaced here, this would be a harder edge here. Right, cats? What are we talking about? There you go. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. Not super thin, but not wide. Whew. Look at this thing, man. $1,700, kids. That's your vibe right there. Do we go on, or is that it? I mean, how do you top that? I don't think you do. I think that's your piece right there. I don't think it gets better than that. What else do you find on here? Another 6 era? Okay, guy. All right. You got it. Oh, it's also $250, so let's see if this looks cooler than the other one. I like the color. Really brown. Means no one messed with it. Tip rail looks real. Is it a C-star? It is. All right, so this is an excellent blank. Well, I don't know. Is that just dirt? Like this? There's some odd markings, but it's oxidized. I think this is a good blank. I bet that would be a good blank, man. I bet you could turn that into something cool. Send it to your guy. Get it done up. Don't buy a Sios mouthpiece. That's $250 right there. Another 200 plus a little shipping. You're into it $450, and you don't have an orange piece of garbage. You know what I mean? Am I being uncool? Is that uncool? Are we not allowed to say that? I don't know what to tell you. Drake. I haven't seen him. I just don't spend. I'd try Drake. I'd try the Navarro stuff. I just don't have the bread. Got to keep it. What do they say? You keep it close to the chest, right? I don't have the bread. I've never had the money for that kind of extravagant. Just buying these things willy nilly. And I'm not the kind of person that they just send it to because you're famous. Because I'm not. Because I'm a nobody. So that's a reality. And so no one sends me shit to try. So I just play what I have and what I look into. But these people make good mouthpieces. These old Rousseau mouthpieces, if you can find the right model with the right opening. He had the best hard rubber, and they're well-made pieces, consistent. They're a little odd because they have weird baffles in them and shit like that. But if you can find something that fits what you do, those Rousseaus, they're cheap. They're like $60, $70. It's crazy. And those are really well-made mouthpieces. Craziness. Old Van Doren Reeds, there you go. This looks weird. Okay, we have a Link mouthpiece, but like a brown bite plate. Let's take a closer look at this. This is weird. So it's got a replacement bite plate. That's not original. That's like bowling ball material, right? Fucking Big Ern McCracken, This is Jive. We're out of here. Jive. All right, what's next? We got an old New York Tone Master. $900, dude, for a 6-tone master. Come on, guy. What are we talking? Oh, that's sexy. Look at that. Come on, man. You all day. Okay, I'll give you the $900 for it. I'm done. You got me. I'll go play it on my next gig in 3 years. No baffle. Look at that. Oh, man, I'll bet it plays like a ton of bricks. And all the fun you had all summer. You know what I mean? Look at that thing. It needs work at the tip. The tip is a problem. It was probably dropped. Look at that. The tip is not good. The rats got to the box. Hopefully it didn't piss on the mouthpiece. Yeah, the tip is bad. Look at that. Up here. Tip. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, if anyone normal is watching this, I'm just saying. But it's the original gold. I mean, that is fucking nuts. All right, 900. You said. How about 8? Do you take 8? Do you take 8 for it? At 750. I know I should have started there. But, wow. So that's cool. They play terrible. I don't think they play well. I mean, remember. Jack had one at the shop, and the guy was trying to unload it. He got into it for too much money. He wanted a lot for it. And it was only a 4-star or a 5, And even for me, that's shallow, Reso chambers. So these are interesting. Everybody thinks they want a Reso chamber until they find out how much work it is to play one. I'll give you a Reso chamber that's open up to 7. And you go ahead and play it with a 2.5 or a 3. And then we'll talk about how much a badass Seamus Blake is, because Seamus Blake plays the shit out of those mouthpieces. He did. I know he's on other shit now, but, that was a thing, man. I mean, fucking hell. But for a normie, for a civilian, a normal cat to play a fucking Reso chamber, these are hard to play, man. They are tubby. They have the look. They have the external diameter. They don't have funny scrolling on them. It's a sexy piece. The rubber is for real. That's the real hard rubber. That's the shit you want. That's why the slants play good. But that's a tubby mouthpiece. It's a different thing. And they're hard to play, man. I've played one. It was, it was shallow, and the guy I was a soft reed that I played on it, and it was like, wow, that's wild. You could see where it was at. but it's different than how I play as the guy that sits here now talking about it. I couldn't play that mouthpiece now. It was probably even a 5. It was probably Joe. I think it was the JA facing Joe Allard, which is like just shy of a 5, a modern day 5. But it was a soft reed, you know. But the horn, oh man, we'll talk about that horn on another show. I'm kind of enjoying doing this. I don't know why anyone would watch this, but it's fucking hilarious. And I got more beer, so we'll do that. Let's try another one. That's a neat mouthpiece. It's got the serial number 5-star. It's stamped. Look at that. That's uncommon. That's pretty cool. But look at that chamber, man. That's like jumping out a window, man. Get the fuck out of here. Those are hard to play. And so little baffle. I mean, look, that's a bathtub right there, you know. So, no. So anyway, that's a lot of mouthpiece, and it's a lot of money. But it seems pretty legit. I don't know. You'd have to get a glass under it, you know, see how it measures up. You know, and you know how many people are already going through it. You know, that slant from before, that looked pretty cool. It hadn't been messed with too much, maybe a little, but it looked pretty legit. But the guy also wanted $1,800 for it. You know, and salute to him for finding it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Grayson Farmer, what's happening, my brother? I'm just trying to distract from the craziness, man. I was freaked out. I wasn't feeling sad. I was mad, and I'm freaked out, and I'm mad, and I was really freaked out. So I had to hang with my brother. We did a shot, couple, anyway, and I started to feel better. And he had a real bear of a day, unrelated to everything else going on. And so we both helped each other out and felt a little better, you know, chatted and whatever. And I hope this helps you guys in some way, you know, just to have a little hang in some way, in some weird way, guy. You know what I mean? If I was more technologically savvy, we could do this kind of thing as like a Zoom chat with a number of people chiming in, and we could just go through all the mouthpieces. Yeah, it's bullshit, man. I bought one of those at Sam Ash, man, 1974. It was $30, man. I tell you what, this motherfucker wants $1,800 for it. Get the fuck out of here, kid. You know, that kind of bit. Like, that would be fun. It would be fun to do, but I'm a little slow, and I can't get all the technology shit. I'm getting there. I'm working on it, but it's challenging. And, so, let's see here. And timing, you know, putting in the time, you know, it's just like the music part, you know, making music is the easy part. It's not easy, but it's the fast and rewarding part. And, you know, we're going to stop at this one. You know, but then when you make a video of it, or if you put out a recording, or you quantify it all, then that becomes work. And that's when I'm getting into some projects that are, then it's this idea you had that would have been fun is suddenly a whole lot of work. And it's obviously worth it, but I tend to be the kind of person that is lazy and doesn't do the work. And so it's hard. So I've set some things in motion, and I have some grandiose ideas, and it's just a lot of fucking work. So what am I doing with my awake time? I am reviewing mouthpieces postings on eBay. Getting a lot done, as you can see. But anyway, I was kind of buzzed, so I wasn't going to accomplish anything real anyway. So this is just as good. Because we're having a laugh, aren't we? Are we having a laugh? What we got in front of us here is something incredible. An early Gardala tenor mouthpiece. Look at this fucking thing. The pink, he used a dental plastic. Derlin, probably, right? Isn't that Derlin, Frank? Is Frank watching right now? Frank probably went to bed because it's been a hard day for him. He's very sensitive to everything that's going on. Look at this mouthpiece. Get the fuck Shut the front door, dude. So this is different than all the other Gardellas. It's an early model. It looks different. This is not what the rest of them look like. The pink material for the bite plate is the same. But look at this. It doesn't have a big step, not too much of a step. It's a pretty smooth baffle area. There's the Dave Gardella. Wow. Whew. What's the guy want for it? 15 folks. This is second. You know what we'll do? And we'll keep track of our biggest numbers, for the day when we do this. So $1,500. There you go. For a clinical Dave Gardella dental abstraction mouthpiece. That's beautiful. I wonder how open it is. What does it say? Dave Gardella mouthpiece used condition. Doesn't say the size. Did we miss something? Is there a marking? There might have been, but not anymore. Usually they're very open and you play them with a real soft reed. It's not really my style. They're also very bright usually. But it's a feat what he did. The way he changed the mouthpiece world is pretty interesting. They were always in the jazz magazines. I always was fascinated with them. I could never afford them because even then they were expensive. Dukoff, and this is what he was emulating a little bit. $400 for a Dukoff. They're usually pretty chewed up. How's this one? Yeah, there you go. Look at it. But that's real buzzy. All that rollover right there. I mean, that's a chirpy, buzzy monster, man. But, if you're doing the Springsteen cover band, you really can't go without it. You just buy as many as you can and have them refaced till they wear out and start over. You know what I mean? Check this out. My buddy Miguel says, I don't trust the government enough to go to bed. I'm telling him I'm live on Facebook. But it's fucking spell checking and it's saying love. But I'm live on Facebook right now. Come check us out. We're doing mouthpiece video vibe on it. So what else we got here? We got an old Selmer scroll shank. Does it have the script? Is it script? No. See, this has got the... If it's written in script, that's what you want. If it's got these are later. Fine mouthpiece, I'm sure. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what Kenny Garrett plays on. You can kind of tell by... Come on now. Go now. Come on, buddy. All right, screw it. Anyway, Berg Larson, $500. Boat table. Now that's a new term. In my years, I've never heard these described as boat table. Long body, maybe. But this is the Dewey Redman mouthpiece. A lot of guys played these. These are, Berg's were well-made mouthpieces and they were easy to play. That's the thing. They were easy to play. This one's got a pretty big flaw in it. See that right there? That's a big problem. It's the only picture of it, too, isn't it? Right here. It's not that bad. You got clearance there. You got reed touchage, as long as you don't have it refaced. That's a pretty nice mouthpiece. Will it play good? Would I like it? Probably not. But it's sexy. That's a cool mouthpiece. All right, what's next? AutoLink New York Slant Signatures 6, $1,300. So you're talking about $1,400 here. $1,395. If we're gonna do this more, I'll get an app. You probably can get a program where you can make a larger arrow, your pointer. So you got your rings here, small rings. Slant signature AutoLink, tone edge. Come on, stop doing that. Okay, so this, wow. So if the number is on the table, makes it an older mouthpiece. So this is a AutoLink early Florida, late New York, I guess, right, guys? Right? Now, the other thing we see some texturing here on the table. Looks pretty weathered. Up here, we actually see some issues. We see maybe this is a little chipped up, a little bit up, but a part of what that tells us is that this has never been messed with. This looks, to me, pretty original. The 6 is pretty easy to see. The number 6 on the table. Next picture, we got problems up here, but with a proper reface, that's pretty safe. This is how they were made. This is a pretty original tip to me, despite its wear. If you're asking me what I want to see in a fucking tip of a mouthpiece that's vintage, this shape is it. The Myers and this is the telltale sign of real deal original stuff. Doesn't really match a modern reed, but this is how they made them. So if you pick up one of these mouthpieces that's reported to be original, but it totally matches up with a modern reed, it is probably not original. This shape, especially here, see that shoulder right here. Here is not as pronounced, but this is what they looked like. This is how they made mouthpieces in the 50s and 60s. Look at that. Fifth Street Pompanos. That's early Florida. But it's the New York body. It's the mouthpiece that came from New York. This is killer, man. Whew. Look at that thing. $1,300 sold. Frank will lend me the money. He's cool. I'm telling you. That is killer. I love it. And you probably wouldn't have to, I'll tell you what, all things considered, if you put a mouthpiece on there with that tip, even with that damage, it's not going to come back up. Sorry. Internet's slow sometimes. But that would play. You don't have to go crazy on that. These are fucking interesting. Red Van Doren, man. The blue ones are the ones you want. But it's not too, but that's so much material right there. But, it might be a fun, punchy mouthpiece, You play with like a local ensemble or rock outfit, you need the punchy, you don't need a big fat tone master. You need something that kicks, man. Sorry, cats. You need something that kicks. Jesus, so this is uncalled for. These slants with the scrolling at the bottom are worthless. You understand? Worthless. $1,000. Fuck you. Not doing it. Bullshit. Dukoff vintage Miami large body. I don't know what any of that means. This looks different. The baffle here. The baffle. What an idiot. The bite plate here is different than they usually were. We don't have a step baffle. That's kind of a cool looking mouthpiece. LD8 it says. Does it say that? Yeah, there it is. LD8. That's an interesting mouthpiece, but look how chewed up it is. These just didn't hang. The material was really shitty. But you could probably have that resurfaced, get a couple decades out of this mouthpiece if you knew a good refacer that was careful and didn't take a lot of material. You could get a couple years out of that. And look at that. That's probably a pretty ballsy. There's a lot of open. This is very interesting. If you could make this mouthpiece now, I would buy one. Look at that. Really dug out sidewalls here. Pretty cool rollover baffle. You'd have to do a little more about how much material here, because it's probably pretty chirpy. But look at this mouthpiece, man. Get the fuck out of here. This might be the best mouthpiece ever made right here. Look at that thing. You kidding? I don't like the beak profile. If you could put this shit inside of like a Link or a Ted Klum type thing. Look at this thing. Look at the dugout sidewalls. I'll bet this mouthpiece is a fucking animal. Holy crap. Look at that thing, man. What does he want for it? $600. Pa-pow. That's the mouthpiece of the night, folks. It's not the most expensive one, but that is fucking rare, cool shit, and I'll bet that thing plays great. It's probably too open for me. 8, I don't really play an 8. But if you were that kind of guy, man, that is a bad fucking piece. Look at that thing. That's an animal. That's one of a kind. That is super rare. I've never seen anything like it, and I've been watching this shit for years. There is a model. There's a version of the later mouthpieces that have a different bite plate. The later mouthpieces, there is a version, I think stamped with H, that has this Florida type rollover baffle type deal, and a few of them are casted in silver, so they're not even this shitty pot metal that's deteriorating. Like, this mouthpiece will have problems because it's that pot metal material they used. But they made a version that had a kind of a rollover back. But look at that thing. I mean, this is crazy. This is real deal stuff. That mouthpiece is the mouthpiece of the night. Not for nothing, this was fucking fun to do, and I think I'm going to do it again. And Lord knows we are going to need a break again. Good luck sleeping. If you're still up. I was really freaked out. I don't know if I'll be able to sleep, but these are scary times. This is crazy what's going on. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about somebody buy that mouthpiece. $600. Forget about it. So, thanks for watching this. I don't know why you did, but I needed it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. We'll see you next time.